themselves out into their little readings that we're going to do for you. I'll just go ahead and explain who I am. I'm Nancy Reinisch, that's my dog barking. And I'm a breast cancer survivor, I'm a thriver, and now I am a fighter again. For the second time in my 63 years of life. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 2 breast cancer, and I remember creeping up the back stairs of the hospital to the 3rd floor for, at that time, our new infusion center. I remember sitting in the little waiting room waiting for the physicians and the nurses to come out and get me for my first infusion. I then proceeded to have 16 chemotherapy infusions later. I had six surgeries later, and a diagnosis of the BRCA gene, which predisposes me to breast cancer and ovarian cancer. After that time, since April 6, 2006, I had 10 years of a joyful recovery. Unfortunately, this last April, 10 years to the month, I was diagnosed with advanced metastatic breast cancer. It came back in the same place it had been, and it came back into 6 different bones in my body. This time, I didn't have to creep up those back stairs to the old cancer center. This time, I walked through the meditative garden and into a fireplace that goes 24/7 and into a lobby that looks like the Ritz-Carlton. I then proceeded past the boutique called Mary Ann's Boutique, which is now named in honor of my mom, who at 86 years old, still living, is a 23-year survivor of ovarian cancer and also carries the BRCA gene. Valley View Hospital and the Calaway-Young Cancer Center have been part of my life in one way or another for the past 33 years, since I've lived in Glenwood. My kids, Chaz and Marco, were born in that hospital. My husband, Paul, works at that hospital. I facilitate the Cancer Coffee Walk and Talk group at that hospital. And I imagine that it will support me through my remaining days above ground as I fight this cancer. There will be no cure to my cancer, but we will manage it. Like many other cancer survivors here and out there in the audience, I have experienced warding off the disease of canceritis, a new syndrome I read about in Cure magazine. It's the syndrome where we worry about a cancer reoccurrence. It's the syndrome where most of us have had, where we have a back pain or a leg pain or a headache or a cough, and we think our cancer has returned. It's particular to all of us as survivors. I like when my husband says to me when I start to worry, stop thinking about zebras and think horses, which in Western Colorado makes sense, in Africa it might not. However, when you have cancer, you think zebras all the time, in your dreams and in your nightmares. The good news for me is that I no longer have canceritis because worst case scenario has happened. I have a recurrence of cancer. I no longer have anticipatory anxiety about getting it, I just have it. So now I just have to deal with it. And how will I do that? With everybody out there, with my Cancer Coffee Walk and Talk group, with my wonderful friends and family, my husband Paul, my dog Maji, my kids Chaz and Marco, with the best radiation oncology team in the state, including Dr. Marcus, Dr. Green, all our techs of Brian and Karen and Shelby and you know who you are, and I'm forgetting your names. And then the best oncology team in the state by Dr. Rovera, Dr. Armas, Terry, and Diane, and you know, all those wonderful nurses and techs that help us every day right here at the Calaway-Young Cancer Center. Not to forget the pathology department and the labs that help us along our cancer journey. Most importantly, I will do it with my mom's slogan at the Mary Ann's Boutique, which is hope, health, and humor for the cancer journey. Now, we are not all comedians up here. We are not professional nor amateur, and we certainly don't have writers from the Late Late Show, but we do have courage, and that's why we are here, and we love laughter. So we hope to give you at least a chuckle to brighten up, if not your day, just a moment, as we share with you. Groans are appreciated, tomatoes are not. So, with a little bit of humor, I'd like to introduce to you our very own Cancer Coffee Walk and Talk group as they share, you know you have cancer when. Let me introduce to you the Cancer Coffee Walk and Talk players. Beginning with Maureen.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
You know